as per the rules discussed, we will try and use those rules in these sentences and change them from direct to indirect speeches. Let's take a look. For example, he said, nothing grows in our garden. Now let's convert this. He said that nothing grew in his garden. Now let's understand why it gets converted from this to this. Because this is a direct speech, so we remove this comma, we remove these inverted commas. And we learned that in the very first set of rules that when we are writing a reported speech, we use the word that, which is mandatory. So we've used the word that. Nothing grows in our garden gets converted to nothing grew in his garden. Why? Because we need to change the tense of the verb, and if it is in a simple future tense or it is in simple present tense, it gets converted into simple past. So grows turns into grew, and our turns into his, because we need to change the first person or the second person in either the form of what it is said in the reported verb or in the third person. So this is how we change the sentence. And he said nothing grows in our garden gets converted to he said that nothing grew in his garden. Let's look at the second example. He said, I am very busy now. He said that he was very busy then. Now let's understand, we converted now to then as per the rules because certain words need to change in from future to past tense. In terms of this sentence, we have added that. We've converted the first form of first person to the second person, and this sentence becomes he said that he was very busy then, a reported speech of he said I am very busy now. Let's move on to the third example. The principal said to me, I can't help you. Now this will become Now this sentence has been changed to the principal told me he could not help me. Now let's understand why this sentence has been converted this way. As per the rules, we learned that said to is converted to told in a reported speech. Moving on, we remove the comma, we remove the inverted commas. I gets converted into he and you gets converted into me because of the interchange of personal pronouns. Now can't gets converted into could not. Why? Because in one of the set of rules we had learned that can gets converted into could, so cannot gets converted into could not. So the direct speech is the principal said to me I can't help you. The indirect speech is followed as the principal told me he could not help me. Now let's see the next sentence. My mother said, I can lend you only 10 rupees. Now, if you've understood the concept of the last three sentences, this becomes really easy for you to understand and convert. Let's convert this. My mother told me that she could lend me only 10 rupees. Again the same theory, that is added, can gets converted into could, and the change of personal pronouns. The last sentence, he said I am leaving tomorrow. He said that He was leaving the next day. So this sentence get converted as, we omit the comma, we omit the inverted commas, we add the word that, and we convert obviously the personal pronouns from the first person to the third person, and tomorrow according to the rules section gets converted to the next day. Now we need to understand why do we do all these changes from a direct to an indirect speech. Right in the beginning when I explained you what is a direct speech is a speech which comes from the horse's mouth itself. Now but when you are explaining somebody else about a speech given to you or a statement given to you, you change the wordings. Now when you change the wordings, that is what you call the indirect speech or a reported speech. So when you omit the words from a direct speech to an indirect speech, you follow all these rules, and this is how these were certain examples where it would have become easier for you to understand.